Okay, as you can see here, our Gladiator is completely flipping out. The center stack controls, the lights are blinking, mostly off. The infotainment occasionally goes in and out. We're getting all kinds of random dings, blind spot. You could see the auto stop start isn't working. Oh, here we go, blind spot alert. And every now and then you can even hear the subwoofer making a sound. There it is. Just really weird stuff. Earlier oh, you can see it, the climate control was on. It just keeps on turning on for no good reason. I can't actually turn anything off. Oh look, now the infotainment's rebooting. Yeah, I can't actually turn anything off. Won't let me turn anything off. Really, really weird stuff. Not sure what's going on. That's what we started to see on our 2020 Jeep Gladiator after spending a day out in the desert and bombing over some really rough terrain. And I should note, it's the first time we've ever seen anything like it. Certainly, we've never seen it on our other Gladiator or any of the JL Wranglers that we've owned and still own, and since buying our very first one back in 2018. And because I know it's coming, both the main and auxiliary batteries are brand new. Or at least I just installed them a couple months ago. And yes, I double checked to make sure that the battery leads were on tightly. And I triple checked to make sure that all the grounds on the fender and, more importantly, on the frame rail to make sure that they were tight and secure. Because a loose ground lead would definitely cause the kind of electrical craziness that we were seeing. That said, I did talk to a good friend of mine who just so happens to be a senior engineer at Jeep, and I was told that I might need to replace this. This is the CAN hub or CAN bus, and apparently there's a circuit board inside of it that can crack, and if it does, it would cause your dash to go totally nuts. Needless to say, that's what I'm going to be replacing now. And fortunately, you can get a Mopar replacement like this on eBay for about $75 shipped. And here you can see the part number that you'll need. But before I do anything, I'm going to disconnect the negative leads from the battery. Of course, being that we do have an auxiliary battery, it'll be necessary to disconnect this lead first, and for that, I'll be using a 13mm wrench. Okay, so this first cable is for our winch. I'll just put that aside, and I'll take off this lead. This goes to the auxiliary battery. And then I'll be using a 10mm socket to remove the main lead from the terminal. Okay, just want to make sure it's out of the way so it doesn't touch the terminal again. And just to make sure that it doesn't, I'm going to put a rag over it so it doesn't accidentally make contact. I should note, it's important that you disconnect both negative battery leads just like I showed you in order to totally kill power to your Jeep. On to the CAN hub. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is push the CAN hub off its mount, and then I'm going to be removing each one of these plugs separately and plugging it into the new one just so I don't confuse anything. Now, I should point out that there is this little tab, it's a locking tab on each one of the plugs, and in order to pull it off, it'll need to be depressed to the side, and then the plug can be pulled out. Oops. There we go. So that's one. Let's get the new one out. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4 in. 1, 2, 3, 4 in. Plug that one in. Okay. last one. All right, that should be the last of it. Let's go ahead and put this back on into place. Now we can put the glove box back on. All right, time to reconnect the battery. All right, fingers crossed. Awesome. Changing out the can hub fixed absolutely nothing. Okay. Everything is still going totally haywire. As you can see here, the infotainment system is barely on. It's a pretty dark screen, whereas everything else is kind of bright. Center stack is still blinking like crazy. And I'm surprised it's not happening right now, but I keep on getting this blind spot error that keeps on popping up on the EVIC. There it goes. Just when I needed it. Totally nuts. Radio isn't really working. Everything's freaking out. The CAN bus replacement did absolutely nothing. Damn. And I should note, I did wait more than 72 hours to check again because it can take that long for things to clear up, especially after disconnecting both negative battery leads. I guess it's back to the drawing board. So just as a footnote, or at least for right here now anyway, I do need to point out that things are actually a lot better. And by better, I mean, you can see that the center stack, all the lights are on solidly. They're not blinking anymore. The infotainment is working just fine. I have controls over the climate and I can actually adjust temperatures, which is something I wasn't able to do before. I can even turn it off or turn it on. Everything looks good again. I don't have any weird messages on the EVIC. And I really couldn't tell you why. It could be that the CAN hub was actually in need of being fixed. It could be that I disconnected the taser, updated it, and reinstalled it. It could be that I just put on a lot more miles because I did, testing this thing out. Or it could just be time. I just don't know for sure. But I thought I'd let you know all the things that I had done and what had happened, just so that you would get an idea of what I'm seeing now. And I do need to point out that by mostly better, I am still getting a couple things that's weird. The first of which is every now and then, and just like every now and then, I'm still getting a blind spot error where it says it's unavailable. And I am still getting a passenger side rear taillight that's out, but only on occasion. And I would be the first to admit that it's entirely possible that it's unrelated to what we were seeing on the center stack and on our infotainment. That's something I'm still gonna have to look into. But again, because it's so seldom and so random and everything else is working, I just don't know. I'll keep you up to date. Hey Ripley, where is... Go get... No, I didn't say anything yet. Hey Ripley, sit. Get... No, not yet. Sit down. You need to be patient. Get... Wait. Ready? Monster. No, good girl. That was too easy. Good, get your monster. Hey, Ripley, release. This is Monster. Here, you can have it.